Listening to Hotepish with your host, Dwan B. Intelligent ish talk, intelligent shit talk, where we balance the profound with the profane. Political satire, celebrity and expert guests, information and entertainment, conversation and solutions. Leave your feelings at the door. You're listening to Hotepish with your host, Dwan B. Intelligent-ish
Here
talk,
for that intelligent-ish
shit
talk.
where we balance the profound
That
with the
intelligent
profound.
shit
Political
talk.
satire, celebrity and expert
We are here live. We are here live.
conversation.
Thank y'all for joining. We about to talk about protecting your mind and all this bullshit going on out here, because I've been seeing people go crazy and flip out with all these shootings and shit. You can't be flipping out, man. You still got your life to live. I know it's hard. But there are methods that we can apply to make sure whatever's going on in the world don't stick to you. So I'm gonna be giving y'all some of my suggestions, some of the things that I've done in the past to make it work, and all that good stuff. But let me play this commercial first from my sponsor. I'm so glad I got this brother as a sponsor, because he's also a great resource, somebody that can help you with what we talking about.
The Cosmic Alignment Workshop, Sunday, May the 15th. That's Sunday, May the 15th, featuring King Simon, the Numeral Vader. And don't forget, the one, the only, Coach Helen, spiritual business and Zen bar owner, with Blue Pillar 44, the 44 resonator, alongside the one, the only, Ellison Nedra, the modern day sage. All happening at the Cosmic Alignment Workshop on May the 15th. Go get your tickets right now at zenbar.org. That's www.zenbar.org. That's right, it's the Cosmic Alignment Workshop on May the 15th. And don't forget, we'll be going to Delaware. That's right, on June the 19th. Make sure you come on out and have a good time with Lloyd Strayhorn, King Simon, and Ellison Nedra on June the 19th in Delaware.
That's from my brother King Simon. Salute to you. The Numeral Vata. When it comes to getting your mind right, when it comes to understanding certain things, because really getting your mind right starts with you. It don't start with the world around you. It starts with knowledge of self. Numerology is a great tool to help you learn yourself. It's not some creepy pseudoscience. It is an ancient science. Text him your name and birth date, and just from there, an appointment with him, he can help you map out your whole internal journey. I know, because I did it 3 times. You dig? We're about to get up into this right now. What we talking about? Let me play some preaching music as I get ready to talk to y'all. What's up, everybody? What's up, Star? What's up, C. Vessi? Ahmad, Andrew, Jayla, Rob. Thank y'all for joining. What's up, Nino? What's up, Kendall? What's up, Country Girl? Kendall's another one that helped you get that mind right. Let me turn that down. Good morning, afternoon, everyone out there. Still morning here in sunny LA. As soon as I'm done talking to y'all, I'm getting on my bike. Get a good hour in this sunshine on the bike. Sunny with a sea breeze in LA. I love my city. 74 and breezy. What's up, Doogie54? But yeah, we in here. You know, it's a lot. You know, I think that for someone like me that speaks on so much going on in the world, I think that along with talking about what goes on in the world, it's just as important to talk about protecting your mental sanity while dealing with all that's going on in the world. Because the news is meant to enrage you. They have an old saying, if it bleeds, it leads. And they keep you trapped mentally through fear. Most people know about mind control, know what mind control is. You know, you hear your different points of views on that. But how do you, on the other hand, people be like, man, ain't nobody got control of my mind. How does this happen? How do we square this? How minds are controlled? Because both things can be true at the same time. Not everybody is under mind control. How do you not be under mind control? 1, knowledge of self. 2, you can't allow your emotions to be affected by what goes on in the world around you. When you allow the news to get to your emotions, they're now in control of your mind. How do you let the news be in control of your emotions? This is how you open the door of the news being in control of your emotions. When they report a story, if you say things or think things like, well, what if that was my child? What if that was my grandmother? What if I was at that store? They got your ass. Boom. You're now no longer in control of your mind. The people feeding you information now control your mind on this particular subject. And you gave them the keys. None of this stuff can work without your conscious, but most of the time, unconscious decision to give your power away. This is going to be kind of a deep broadcast today, so, you know, people are trolling. If you got something to say, you'll have an opportunity to call in a little later on. So don't go taking over the chat with defeatist mindset talking. We're not going to allow that today. This is the place for winners. This is the place for people who, even though you may feel like you're losing right now, you know somewhere deep down inside you're going to win whatever you're going through. We're here for the higher vibrations. If you're on some low-level shit, this might not be the environment for you, because I will not allow you to lower the conversation to meet your little vibration. And this isn't talking to anyone in particular. This is talking about people who will come in the chat later on. This is more so of a guide to my moderators. When you see people on that nonsense, you know, give them a chance, give them a warning. But if they stay on that low vibrational nonsense, then they can be timed out. People who are afraid, this isn't the place for you. Plenty of scaredy cat ass channels out there for you to attend and listen to. Yes, respectfully. Definitely respectfully. But even if you are scared, but you know somewhere deep down inside, you gonna win, or you have a chance at winning, pull up a chair, chill. Listen to us politic and talk. And hopefully you'll get some ideas for this that can help you out. Because at the end of the day, the point of this is to help each other out. I ain't no fucking guru. I'm just somebody who I have been doing this shit for a long time, so I may be. But this is where my talent happens to be. So I'm sharing my talent with you guys the same way the talents you guys have. I'm open to you sharing those with me. But protecting your mind as the world burns. How the media, this is how you give your power away. Whenever you see something happening on the news or happening in the world around you, your job is to observe. It's peep game. Kind of like a security guard. A security guard's job is to observe and report. You don't get involved. You don't say, well, if that was me, it wasn't you. So why are you creating the scenario? These events that we see on the news, whether it be a shooting at a church or a school, you have a 99.999999999% chance of never being involved in one of those type scenarios. Yes, these scenarios happen. What today seems like daily, but it's still an anomaly. They're having a lot more now than they did 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. But they're still relative anomalies. So when you put yourself... Oh, what's up, Emery in the chat room? That's my dog right there. Emery is one of my favorite players I ever coached. Now he a grown-ass man. I swear, Emery was when he was a kid. He a grown man now. This motherfucker probably owned 2 houses and 15 cars for all I know. But I remember that boy when he was a 9th grade boy. That was my point guard. All right, Emery. We about to run it. Pass the screen away. Let's go. Emery was my floor general in the 9th grade. Salute to you, young man. Damn, I feel old. Anyway, back to my point. These things that happen, they're still relative anomalies. And for those who don't know what an anomaly is, statistically, that means it's not something that you'd ever expect. Like, it's not a guarantee. Nothing's 100%. An anomaly, I'm basically breaking down to you in layman's terms. An anomaly is basically getting struck by lightning. It's something that, more than likely will never happen to you. So what happens is the news plays these things on TV. The news, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Killing, murder, and killing. Remember, they did that in 2020 while the virus is going on. Looking back, 2020 was one of the most peaceful years in American history. Crime was at an all-time low during 2020, even though the news made it seem as if the world was burning, especially during the George Floyd protests. 2020 was one of the most peaceful years on record. And you know why? The United States was throwing money out there freely. And when people have money, they tend not to be violent. They tend not to be violent. If you know somebody that got struck by lightning twice, then you an anomaly, my nigga. Salute Big Pontiac. So what happens is the news places these things in your mind. It's like the movie Inception. Go back and watch Inception with your third eye. Watch it 3 times, as a matter of fact. I know it's a long movie. That's why I say watch it 3 times. But watch it with your third eye. Inception is showing you how the mind is programmed. Yes, the cinematography is great. Great storyline. All those technical things Hollywood does. I've said this on this show before. In this world we live in, it's an illusion full of lies. But there's also truth to it. How does an illusion work? How does a magic trick work? If you go to a magic show and you have that corny ass magician up on stage in his corny ass tuxedo telling you corny ass jokes, what's the one thing the magician does before ever fooling you? First thing the magician does is he first tells you what he's going to do. I'm going to put this bird in the hat and make it disappear. I'm going to wheel this lion out, put a big ass sheet over it and make it disappear. That's what they do. How America works. How America works is it creates its illusions through the movies. It tells you exactly how they pull off their bullshit through the movies. And Inception is a great illustration of how it's done. Put these things in your mind. And when you put things in people's minds, you seed it through the power of suggestion. Because when you see things through the power of suggestion, then it makes the receiver of the message feel as if they are the ones who drew the conclusion. So I don't have to tell you the world's a bad place. Get a bunker and go and hide. The news don't have to come on TV and tell you the world is bad directly. They don't have to have movies telling you, you might get shot. No. They show it happening to other people. And then they talk about it as if they care. Well, what do you do to protect yourself? How do you stop this from happening? Gun violence. If we just take the guns off the streets, and then they take you from that suggestion that this may happen to you through the framing of them throwing this story out and planning over and over and over again. Then they take it from there to a debate over gun control. So now whether you're pro-guns or anti-guns, wherever you stand, you've been taken from this emotional state of fear. Because when you saw that news program, you said, well, what if that was my kid? What if that was my grandmother? What if I was there? The minute you said that was the moment you became emotionally invested in the story. Now you're emotionally invested. And you don't even have to watch the news anymore, because people don't watch the news that much anymore. All you gotta do is go on Twitter. Twitter puts up a tweet, fill in the blank, many people were killed. Children, grandmothers, aunts, uncles, and aunties. Did I say aunts twice? Auntie? My bad. They put it out there, then you see a few more tweets. You see that coworker you don't like saying something that goes against what you believe. Now you're mad. Then you see someone else with a blue check on Twitter put up some BS and says we need gun control. Now, if you're against gun control, you're going to say, hey, they're trying to take our guns. God damn you motherfuckers. They're not gonna take our guns. If you gonna take my guns, you gonna have to come and get them. I'm not letting Joe Biden and that whatever the hell her name is, Harris, you're not gonna get my guns. You're not gonna get my guns. Give me a Budweiser, Randy. We gonna drink this Budweiser. And the government wants my guns. They can come get them. Now, if you want gun control, you're gonna be like, see, this is another reason why we need gun control. Why does somebody need? They killed 21 people. That means they had a magazine of at least 21 bullets. Why do you need a magazine that big? We need to take all guns off the streets. And if we ain't gonna take all guns off the streets, we need to take out assault rifles. No more assault rifles. You know, get some of them liberals talking about here in California, a 10 magazine capacity. You know, that's what the police are for. We just need more police. Take the guns off the streets. And now you emotionally invested. Guns, no guns. No guns, or guns. Meanwhile, if you sit back and you're not emotionally involved, pay attention, what do you see? I'll tell you what I see. I see a mass shooting in Buffalo that happened in a state with some of the strictest gun laws in America. Somebody from a different state just came by and picked them off. Drove 200 miles. Still got gunned down in a state with the most strictest gun laws. So in the places with states with strict gun laws, they were like, see, that's why you need guns. If you was in a state where people could carry a gun, no way in hell 10 people gonna get shot. This was in a state where you can carry a gun, no way in motherfucking hell you gonna get 10 people get shot. Next week, Texas, state with some of the most liberal gun laws. 21 motherfuckers get shot. Now here come the liberals. There's no way this would have happened in a state where you have gun laws. Gun laws, gun laws, gun laws. Fight, fight, fight. It's the itchy and scratchy show. They fight, they fight, they fight, they fight, they fight. The itchy and scratchy show. And these motherfuckers are going back and forth, and all these ifs. Well, what about this side? What about that side? Meanwhile, 2 shootings 2 weeks apart. Both arguments got literally shot down within 10 days. See, that's why you don't lend the media your emotions. Because when they lend your emotions, they're going to put you in a mental pretzel. You don't give them your emotion. You don't say, Well, what if that was my child? What if that was me? It wasn't you, goddammit. The fuck, do you want it to be you? I'm telling you about something about that law of attraction. That shit real. You keep calling that shit out if you want to. It wasn't you. Pay attention. This world we live in, you create your reality. Now you want to make sure that you take the proper precautions. You want to make sure that you're the one that, you know, if your state allows guns, which they all do on some level, they cannot not let you have guns. So find out your state's laws. Take your protection out there. You know, learn how to protect yourself. Shouts out Tasha Ray. Learn how to protect yourself. And then from there, you know, take care of yourself economically. But from there, shit is gonna happen. We live in a random ass world. Sometimes, you know what, shit just happens. But more often than not, shit don't happen. You all right. 99.9% of your life will be lived in non-confrontational communication, non-confrontational manners, especially if you're the kind of person that don't go around starting shit. If you're the kind of person that don't go around starting shit, 99.9% of your existence is, for the most part, whatever. You're not in situations where you're needing to defend yourself. 99.9% of your life. Like I said, unless you're one of those people who go around starting shit. But you spend it all day allowing the emotions, the news is implanting in your brain, Twitter, Facebook, your conspiracy theorist cousin. And these things never happen. Let me tell you why this is important. This is how the news works. Like I told y'all, we going deep. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button if you like what I'm saying. Donate to the Cash App too if you like what I'm saying. Donate to the Cash App. I got the super chat there too, but you know what they do. That big ass percentage that they take. I'm open to it, but you know how they get down. So hit the Cash App if you feel so inclined. But this is why that's important. This is your brain. No, this ain't one of those corny ass 80s Oprah commercials. But this is your brain, right? You have 3 major components in your brain. If you think I'm lying, pick up a damn science book. 3 major areas of your brain. You have your reptilian brain, your emotional brain, and your reasoning brain. When things happen, when you're afraid, when you're shocked into fear, when you're shocked in any way, shape, or form, the first signal goes to your reptilian brain, where your instincts are. Fight or flight. Y'all learned this in school, fight or flight. As long as your brain is in fight or flight mode, the signals can never go up to your reasoning center, your frontal cortex right about here. Because when you feel as if your life is in danger, your your mind is a natural reaction. That's God made us so beautifully. Don't you agree? Your natural reaction ain't gonna be thinking about what you forgot to record on your DVR if it feels as if your life is in danger. You cannot think properly when you're in fear. So when you scroll Twitter too much, when you spend too much time listening to YouTube videos that keep you in fear, when you watch too much CNN, when you listen to too much music that talks about shooting and killing and hating, that puts your mind in its reptilian form. The reptilian brain, meaning that's the first brain developed. That's the brain that we share with alligators, snakes, rabbits, gazelles, and all of the other species on this planet. Everyone got a reptilian brain. Fight or flight. That's the part of the brain we share with possums when they freeze up. This is human. This is human. This is how your brain works. So what happens is the people who are in charge of media, the news, those type people, they understand this very well. They know this without a shadow of a doubt. Not only do they know this, they know how to use this against you, especially for those who are unaware. And most are unaware. Most people are just, I don't know, that's why I don't use the word, I used to use the word dumb, but I had to check myself. A lot of people ain't dumb. People living their own goddamn life, man. Your training, your education is somewhere way over else. And some people are just, living their life day to day, trying to do what they gotta do. And the news is very aware of that. People are already in survival mode. Well, the bills are due on the 1st, and you a few $100s short, you don't have time to be figuring out how your neocortex works relative to how the prison industrial complex is working with the CIA and all that shit. You got a day-to-day life you got to live. And America puts us in these stressful situations, stressful work environments, so we don't go and research information like this. So we don't take the time to ask ourselves, what's the bigger picture? What's the bigger play? You got to be at work. It's 10 o'clock at night. You got to get ready, because now they done gentrified your neighborhood. So now you don't work 15 minutes. You don't live 15 minutes from work. You now live an hour and a half from work because of traffic. You got to sit in traffic, be up at 5 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, to be out of the house by 5:30, so you can get to work at 7 or 8, drop your kid off at 7, be at work by 7:30. You ain't got time for this shit. They know that. So they say, fear, 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 doonch, doonch. Like, what's that Mexican music? Doonch, doonch, doonch. A nosotros vimos a la cuatro o nosotros. Doonch, 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 doonch. If you're from LA, yeah, you kind of, if you're from LA, yeah, you done heard them parties going till about 7 in the morning. Doonch, 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 doonch. A nosotros vimos a la cuatro o nosotros. That's what the news do with that fear. Doonch, 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 doonch. Fear, 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 fear. What more fear? Fear, 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 fear. I appreciate the Cash App, Tasha. But that's what they do. They keep your mind in that constant state of fear. at 11 a.m. on the West Coast. So when you stay in fear and anxiety, you never, ever get the chance to use your neocortex, your reasoning. That's biological, people. I know the news is trying to get us away from biology. They're trying to tell you a boy is a girl and a girl's a boy and a man is a woman. Even though he still got a nutsack, he's now a woman and we got to accept that. I know they're trying to do all that shit, but they still cannot supersede the laws of nature. So you don't get a chance to think logically. When you're constantly inundated with fear-based news. That's why I always say it's good to, like how I watch the news. I don't get emotionally invested in this stuff, man, at all. And I dabble in it, I read it, see what's going on, and then I get back to what I gotta do. Because when you start to let this stuff affect you, it really affects you. And they do a whole lot of shit to affect us. We know this world. We know how America works. It hates us. And so they're going to do things from time to time to remind you how much they hate you. Like this here. Joe Biden is meeting with this K-pop group named BTS to discuss Asian representation and Asian hate. Mind you, BTS is a group. If you never heard of this genre called K-pop, it's the biggest, most selling genre in the country right now. Fuck all these pop-ups. Rest in peace, Ray Liotta too. Good fella, motherfucker. But K-pop is basically 90s R&B. If you like 90s R&B and you want to hear it with a Korean, hear 90s R&B saying in Korean, listen to you some K-pop. So he invites down to the White House an Asian group that's not even from the United States that plays black music, but still hasn't talked to Ice Cube directly. The originator of the original sound. Still won't say anything about an anti-black hate crime bill, even though black people are getting targeted by people with 180-page manifestos. See, stuff like this as a conscious black person, see, when you're conscious like us in this room, when you see what's going on in the world, stuff like this will piss you the fuck off. You gotta protect yourself. You gotta see this as part of the games that they play. You can't internalize this. Because what that's going to do is it's going to get you emotional. You know me, I always take things back to the 7 laws. 7 laws of nature. Law number 1, everything is mentalism. All is mind. All is mind. Everything. Control yours. Protect yours. Because they're going to do what they do. But the only way you're going to defeat a system like this is with a clear, logical mind. You have to stay in logic. That's why I love listening to Neely Fuller. He's always so matter of fact, so right down the line logical. Because when you're logical, you can make the right moves. You can do what you need to do to make sure yourself and those around you get out of harm's way. White supremacy isn't a blanket, end-all, be-all, know-it-all of everything. It's a system of potholes and traps and tricks. Traps and tricks. That's how this system, this illusion that we're in, that's how it operates. Through traps and tricks. And outright violence. But if you're always in this emotional state of anger and rage, you're setting yourself up to fall into the traps and tricks. That's how you make mistakes like joining these organizations and shit. People who, I'm sure there are a lot of well-meaning people who joined the NAFC. That not fucking around coalition, that shit that brother had with a bowl cut, nigga should have known not to follow some nigga with a bowl cut. We was in 2020, and here come this dude with a straight up clean 1990 bowl cut. Not a speck of hair behind his ears, but a whole lot of hair on top of his head. And they followed this nigga. Like in America, with our history, with what's been going on in this country, why would you even join a gun club right now? I ain't joining shit. Every time they get us, they getting us through RICO charges right now, nigga. Look at what's going on in the rap industry. They get you through RICO charges and infiltrating organizations. Coming up in these organizations, having 2 or 3 informants, taking notes on everybody. One person say some dumb shit, now the whole organization taken down. And here you are with your well-meaning ass going to jail with your good intentions. You still got people running around talking about who the newest leader? That's emotional niggas going around talking about who the next leader is. You the next leader, nigga, lead yourself. But that's somebody caught up in emotions. We need a leader. We need to be with, let's all come there. Or you get them other emotional cats. Yeah, what we need to do. Back to them what we need to do ass niggas. You get one of these what we need to do ass niggas talking about something. Now, what we need to do is we all need to come together. Man, we need to go ahead and create a club. And what we gonna do is we gonna shoot at the range every third Thursday. And on the second Thursday of the month, we gonna strategize. We gonna strategize. And we gonna go here, we gonna go there, and we gonna do this, and we gonna do that. Meanwhile, somebody up in the room, okay, notes. Then you find out later on that the motherfucker that's been running his mouth the whole goddamn time got 2 felonies already. So when it comes time to compromise whatever the organization you're in is in, all they gotta do is go to the nigga with 2 felonies and say, hey, you want that third strike? Or do you want to do this here? You write a mind, then they go and paste the whole goddamn plan on Facebook. Joining these organizations out of emotion because you're in fear. You make those decisions in fear. That's why the whole point of this broadcast today is talking about how to keep that fear bug off you. Observe things for what they are. Don't put yourself in the middle of it. The minute you put yourself in the middle of it, you lost. You've now given control of your mind and your mental state to an outside entity. Your mind is your mind. That don't belong to anybody else. Protect it. People talk all day about protecting themselves. You can have 10,000 guns and 100,000 rounds of ammunition. If your mind ain't right, it won't matter. You just stocking up and storing up for the motherfucker you facing whose mind is on right. They're gonna be like, thank you. Thank you for buying all these bullets and guns that are now mine. Because your mind wasn't right and clear. Gotta have a clear mind. That's why when I go to the drug talk, when I talk about drugs or whatever, you have to, again, going back to knowing yourself. You gotta know yourself. If you're the kind of person who can't drink and keep a clear mind, if you're the kind of person that can't smoke weed or do whatever and still find a way to focus, then don't do it. It's not for you. Now, if you're the kind of person that can have 2 or 3 drinks when you out, or whatever your limit is, when you out having a good time, but you still in relative control of yourself, and if something goes down, you can snap out of it and do what needs to be done, then this message doesn't apply to you. But if you're the kind of person that after your second, third drink, you black out, you pass out, and you get all silly, then drinking probably ain't for you. You take a drink, now you cussing your cousins out and your mama. I had this neighbor that was like that back in the day. I had this neighbor that was like that. This motherfucker would get off work, get home about 4 o'clock, get to drinking. And when the buses and trucks come running down the street, he'd be in the window cussing out the trucks. These goddamn trucks! Damn! I'm trying to watch the Laker game, and these motherfucking trucks keep going down the street. And this nigga would get drunk and literally cuss out the trucks. If that's how your brain works, you don't need to be drinking. If you're the kind of person that when you smoke weed, you get all out of it and you zoned out and you just, nothing constructive can come out of that, and you're using it as an escape to get away from the world, if you're using weed as a crutch to not deal with the reality that we're in, then you're the type that may need to get off the weed. Now if you like me, puff a joint and turn into Buddha, nigga, and get even more focused about what's going on, then smoke away. You can smoke and still be functional. You can do like I do, smoke a joint and write a book at the same time, then shit, smoke all the weed you want to smoke. It comes down to knowing yourself and knowing your limits. It comes down to knowing yourself and knowing your limits. Knowing what you can and can't do. Like me, I smoke flowers. I can't smoke those vape pens. That vape weed, that shit, like, if I hit that vape weed, that shit kind of takes me out of it for about 2 or 3 hours. I am no good for nobody when I smoke them vape pens. And I just keep puffing on them and keep puffing on them and keep puffing on them. Now I'm just sitting there stuck all day. Watching basketball, but not paying attention. Me personally, I can't fuck with them vape pens. I gotta do natural flowers. I got some weed from Seattle. Shit, this is good. God damn. I'm so glad I got about 2 ounces. I'm gonna be mad when this shit gone. Man, I smoked some of that this morning. Got back to editing my book. I saw like 5 grammatical errors. I saw one paragraph I didn't like. I've been looking at this paragraph for like, that's why my book ain't came out yet. They're like, my last 2 chapters of this book just ain't right. They just ain't right. It's not pleasing to me, so I this book gotta be right before I get it out to y'all. I know I told y'all the beginning of May. I know I told y'all probably the beginning of June, but it ain't right. It's done, but it ain't right. I only give you guys my best. I'm not giving you my, let me just go ahead and put that out there and make some money. No. I only give y'all my best. But I smoked some good shit this morning. Man, I got back to looking at my book. Man, I rewrote a whole page. A page I've been staring at for like 2 weeks. It just ain't came to me to what to say. And I sat down on my computer. I rewrote that page in like 15 minutes. The information just flowed like, brrr, brrr. And I type fast. I mean, information just was going. But that's me. I know myself. They said smoking on them tweeds. Big Pontiac, I can't do wax or shatter. Nope. And I don't even do moon rocks anymore. I used to put moon rocks in my weed. Like I'll do moon rocks. Like if I'm going to like an all-day jazz festival, all right, ain't no need to be constructive here. I gotta hear, you know. But yeah, I'll crumble up my herb with some moon rocks. Like I'm going to the Hollywood Bowl in a couple weeks for their Juneteenth music festival. And the day before that, I'm going to see Earth and Fire and Carlos Santana. When I go to those shows, yeah, I might throw some moon rocks in my weed then. But regularly, I don't put moon rocks in my weed because when I put moon rocks in my weed, I'm done. I'm not doing anything constructive when I put moon rocks in my weed. Nope. I ain't put moon rocks in my weed in 2 years. Because I recognized that a couple years ago. I was like, man, every time I put some moon rocks in here, I'm done for like 5 hours. And in 5 hours, I'm ready to smoke again. So I'm done for the next 5 hours. So it's like, nah. No moon rocks for me. No moon rocks for me. Know yourself. Same thing with indica. I don't do too many indicas. I do indica. I always got some indica for the nighttime when I'm ready to go to sleep. I always got like a heavy Bubba Kush or OG Bubba, like for like aches and pains. But I don't smoke that Bubba. I don't smoke a lot. I don't smoke too much Bubba. And Granddaddy Purples and all that. Nah, that shit puts you to sleep. I, for the most part, stick with hybrids and mostly sativa dominant hybrids. That way I can keep going. Yeah. But again, you got to know yourself. And you got to protect your mind. Gotta protect your mind. If you want to know where someone else is, please go and ask them. We're focused on today's topic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that, Nino Black. Yeah, protect your mind. Don't put yourself in situations the news is trying to put you in. Yes, you will be able to purchase a music tree real soon. It should be coming out hopefully this or next week. Got to get that. But back to what I was saying. I think what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to take some calls. I want to see what y'all think. I want to see what's on y'all mind. 323-744-7425. 323-744-7425. Listen to this music, and I'm going to take your calls in 30 seconds. Y'all think about protecting your mind, because you know, with these shootings that's going on right now, it's so easy to place yourself in these situations. For those of you who have kids, of course the first thought is going to be, what if those were my kids? That's a natural reaction. You have to push that away and say, you know what? Those weren't my kids. But what can I do to help the situation? What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is J.D. Jimmerson, man. As a Texas baby.
Hey, what up? Fort Worth in the house, my brother. How's it going?
Man, can't wait to see you and Larry Goodwill, Craig Sachs, man. Y'all whole team up there, man. Everybody y'all be connected with, man. I'm a big fan, man. Love y'all energy too, brother.
I appreciate that, brother, man. Yeah, I'm hopefully do a show down there in September. Hopefully, I'm still trying to work out the details of that.
I just want to make sure I get up there and I'm taking notes on your show, man. I'll be writing lyrics and stuff. So, you know, when you get to talking about the brain and stuff, you know, we love to use them words and learn and put them words together to rhyme and send out a message, man.
Yes, sir, man. When you done, man, send me some of your music, all right? Or just tell me where I can get some of it.
I sure will. I'll send it to your email, man. And on top of that, man, I love the way you work that word whoopty-wimps. That whoopty-wimp word, when you talk about that shot, man, they helped me through a whole thing. I'm making a little short comedy movie about it, man. So you already know I'm going to be tapping out on that too, man.
Yeah, much love to you, brother.
Much love, man. And I'm going to be tapped in, brother.
All right, for sure, man. Have a good one.
Man, salute, Dwan. Much love.
J.D. Jimmerson is a good brother right there, man. Good brother. Good energy. Yeah. I gotta talk about Brittany Griner. But you gotta do that, man. Right now, you gotta do that. You gotta You gotta protect that brain of yours. And this world that we're set up in is designed to pull us away from who we are. That's why you gotta know yourself. See, what they do is when you see a shooting happen, you experience something called vicarious trauma. Vicarious trauma is a trauma that it didn't happen to you directly. It happened to someone else, but you feel their trauma as if it's yours. Bookmark that term, vicarious trauma. The media uses vicarious trauma to emotionally hook you in. And usually when we see children, our hearts naturally open up. Because we were all once children. A lot of people have children, and if you don't have children, you still understand the innocence of children. So that vicarious trauma plays in your mind over and over and over again. And when this story is over, we're on to the next story. And with that story, we're on to the next. And when that story is over, we're on to the next. And it keeps being traumatic story after traumatic story after traumatic story. Another thing we have to know is you're not your experiences. Your experiences are there to help you grow. You are not your experiences. Oftentimes people carry into adulthood traumas from their youth or past traumas from earlier in adulthood. And you start to identify who you are, and you start to identify yourself with the trauma you've experienced. You are not your experiences. Your experiences are events that, if you pay close attention to, are there to help shape you into being the best person you can be. But that's only if you learn the lessons from the traumas that you go through. When you constantly loop on your traumas, you never resolve them. And when you're constantly looping on your trauma, you start to identify yourself with those traumas. You start to say, hey man, maybe that trauma is me. No, the trauma happened to you. It's not who you are. You're so much bigger than what you see in the mirror. Go back and listen to Erykah Badu's 20 Feet Tall. That's you. That's you. Go back and listen to Erykah Badu's 20 Feet Tall. That's you. You're much bigger than the person you see in the mirror. Person you see in the mirror is a human that's the smallest part of who you are. And you're here to experience this life and grow from it. You are not your trauma. That's why I always recommend Kendall Cobb. Hit her up. She will separate you from your traumas. Kendall will get right there in your trauma and get it out. So I recommend King Simon. When I was talking earlier about numerology and knowing yourself, numerology is a great path of getting down deep to who you really are underneath all your traumas. You are not your traumas. I had a few people call in while the last brother was on the phone. Y'all didn't call back, so call back if you want to speak. That's right, Jay Jimerson. You're not your experiences. You're not. What do that... he said, what do we do as a people when it comes to the trauma of slavery? Hold on, let me answer that question at the end of this phone call. Keep he who thinks, remind me, ask that question again when I'm done with this phone call. What's up, caller? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up? This is Dedication 666.
What's up, brother? How's it going?
San Diego.
San
Good.
Diego
Real
in the
quick
house.
question, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, San Diego house. Real question, brother. Could you see the theme, the FBA story, kind of remind you of the Thanos story and how Thanos was created? And it's just a question. I'll lay my plane there.
That's interesting. I never paid attention too much of how Thanos was created because I'm just in the last 2 or 3 years getting into a lot of these comic book movies, and that's only because I see how they talk about the world that we live in. But Thanos, the one with all of the powers, that's a good. I'm gonna look at it. That's a good question. Dedication 666. I'm gonna go back and look closer at that because I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know the full creation story of Thanos. I know what Thanos became, but I'm gonna go back and look at the creation of Thanos, and I think I might do a whole broadcast on that. It's a good question. I'm not gonna sit here and try to be the person that act like I know everything. I don't know the creation story of Thanos. Not thoroughly enough to speak on it like that. I like to speak on it, give you guys information that I have a fair understanding of, so I can give it to you from a couple different angles. If my understanding of it ain't tight, then I wait till it is. But he who thinks as, what do we as a people do in general when it comes to the trauma of slavery? First of all, you got to know slavery was an experience. It isn't who we are. The trauma of slavery can get you encapsulated and entrapped when you only see your history starting with slavery. And that's why America does that. That's why Black history always starts with slavery. That's why all Black history is connected to slavery. When they say the first Black to do this, the first Black to do that, that's all relative to the slavery experience. That's what that is. That is all relative to the experience of slavery. You have to know that you're bigger You want him to know that you want to know in your own mind that you're bigger than that. Again, going back to the story, going back to Erykah Badu's 20 feet tall. If you know, not conceptually, but if you know that you're 20 feet tall, that right there can push you past a lot of the traumas of slavery. The traumas of slavery affect you the most when you identify with them. So the first step of getting past the traumas of slavery is understanding white supremacy, how it works, how it operates, understanding your history, and knowing yourself. Well, I should have said first knowing yourself. You got to know yourself. The traumas of slavery affect you the deepest when your identity of self is tied in to the dominant society's identity of you. If how you see yourself is tied into how the dominant society sees you, then the traumas of slavery are going to affect you. And they're going to affect you real hard. You got to know your history, how you got into slavery, what slavery was. And you have to understand white supremacy, how it operates, how it moves. Those are things you can do to get past the traumas of slavery. Like, for instance, I know that when I see people coming around saying, oh, you just a hotep, what's knowing history gonna do? I'm trying to make it. I know I'm speaking to someone that's still traumatized from slavery. I have empathy. I give those people empathy. Now, I don't allow those people voice on my platform. You could take the defeatist talk somewhere else. I'm not going to make people who have a slave mindset, they're not going to necessarily feel comfortable around me. I'm going to always challenge them. You know, if I'm dealing with somebody who comes around saying, oh, man, I don't know about, you can't trust black people, man. Shit. You better go ahead. You know, black people are always messing up. We need to do better. I know when I hear that, I know I'm dealing with somebody who's still affected by the traumas of slavery. They can't talk like that in my house. Now, if I'm in your house, I'm going to respect you in your house. But at that point, I'm probably going to, we're going to have a conversation, a civil conversation about it maybe. But I'm not going to argue with them and tell them why they're wrong. If we can have a civil conversation and we talk about it and dig deeper, then I can stay. But if you're the kind of person that's going around, no, we just need to do better, and black this and black do, we all bad and everybody white is good, then all right, then I'm going to see myself. If I'm in your environment, I'm going to just see myself to the door. People have the right. You know, I understand that they're still dealing with traumas from slavery. And it's not necessarily my job to save them. I'll allow them to live their experience. I'll just leave. I'll just remove myself. That's generally how I deal with people when I identify someone who's still dealing with the traumas of slavery. Hit that like button, please. But that's how you do it. You can't change. That's another way going into protecting your mind. Another part of protecting your mind is knowing that you can't save everybody. You have to know that most people are going to be bought in to whatever the bullshit the media is throwing at them. They're going to be in hook, line, and sinker. Whether on one side of the argument or the other. Some are going to be on this side of the argument. Others are going to be on that side of the argument. But these people are going to be in the majority. You have to be okay with that. Because most people are followers. Most people are going to follow whatever's popular. You got to sometimes feel like you're the only one in the world that feels the way you feel. And you have to enjoy that. Not only get used to that solitude, enjoy that solitude. Enjoy it. Because you can't save everyone. The only thing you can do is put out your opinion, put out your perspective, and let it be. We're in an age where we got to stop arguing. We can't be arguing with people. If people believe that black people, we ain't never gonna get reparations, black people just pipe dream. You ain't gonna never get no reparations. This country ain't gonna never be fair. Oh, that's how you think? Okay. Now, if they want to argue with you, then of course you can put them in check. But you gotta already know you're not gonna change their mind. The issue is when people start to think they're gonna change someone's mind. You ain't changing nobody's mind, people. One thing you're not gonna do is change people's mind. That's one thing you're not gonna do. So don't even enter a discussion or argument with that expectation. If you discuss with somebody and be like, okay, I'm going to say my piece and move on, then okay. But if you think you changing somebody else's mind, get real. That ain't happening. What's up, Great Black Shark? Appreciate that. Your mind is yours. You protect your mind by not lending it to everybody. What's going on in your mind, what's going on in your thoughts, they don't need nobody else's approval. That only needs your approval. When you say yes, the answer is yes, and that's it. The truth is whatever you decide it to be. You have to be okay with other people living theirs. Now, when them living their truth interferes with you, yeah, now we got something to talk about. No. I understand. That's why, because at the end of the day, peace comes at the end of a sword. Peace comes at the end of a sword. You can't allow people all up in your mind to say you to attack what you about. You got to defend that shit. You defend your peace. While at the same time, you got to have respect for other people and their peace. You do what you do, I do what I do. How about that? You resolve 80% of your conflicts right there. You do what you do, I do what I do. We can have a mutual respect. I'm going to stay out your path, you stay out my path. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's nothing. You can't necessarily judge what other people are doing. How would you know, brother, if people are putting 100% of their energy into reparations? How can you quantify what percentage of someone else's energy they're putting in to an agenda? You don't. Hey, Dedication 666 in the chat room. Tell me what movie should I go to go watch how Thanos was created. I'm gonna make sure I bookmark that right now, and I watch that tonight or some. Not I won't have time tonight, but I watch that movie very soon. Cause I just got into the Marvel comics in the last 3 or 4 years when I started seeing the allegories that they were putting into life. So I don't know how Thanos was created thoroughly enough. Let me know which movie that was. But going back to what I was saying earlier, you know, people putting their energy into reparations, they should. Why shouldn't they? If you pay taxes, the energy that people dedicate, people are going to dedicate energy towards politics no matter what. The people who are political. Because at the end of the day, the people who are political are literally invested in the politics because they pay taxes. When you pay taxes, you're invested in where that tax money goes. So when it's time to play politics, hell yeah, I'm putting my energy into reparations. Don't mean it's 100% of my energy, but it's 100% of my energy that's dedicated towards politics. People can dedicate their energy towards reparations and repair themselves at the same time. And there's no way for you or me or we or anyone else to quantify that. When I see people publicly putting energy towards reparations or whatever they're putting in, my assumption is they're putting in whatever amount of energy they deem necessary. I can't quantify how much of it they're using it for. Yeah, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. I know me, kind of like, for instance, how would you even know if people are repairing themselves? Most of the time people are repairing themselves, that's usually a quiet internal journey. Most people who are serious about repairing themselves don't go put it on Facebook. Usually the people you see talking the most about that kind of stuff, they're just doing it for attention. A lot of the times, in my observation, the people who are really, really serious about strengthening themselves mentally, that's a quiet journey that they may put out there on social media every now and again. Of course, they may put up a post every now and again about their journey on mental health. People do that. That's fine. But you're not gonna see them posting about it every day. If you see someone posting about it every day, you gotta really ask yourself, how much time are you spending alone, nigga? Yeah, so yeah, you can't judge externally. Because when it comes to talking about reparations, of course, a person may post 20 posts about reparations to every one that they may post about their mental health journey. This reparations talk is supposed to be very loud. We're supposed to be extremely loud about reparations. Fixing yourself, that's between you and yourself. Fixing yourself doesn't require my acceptance or anyone else's acceptance. Reparations, that shit doesn't necessarily require everyone's acceptance, but it requires the people running knowing that they won't be accepted unless they get on this agenda. And we can bring the system to a grinding halt. Y'all don't want to give us what we want? All right, then nothing works. Nothing works. That's right, Jada said, I don't post my step-by-step of mental health because it's my journey, yeah. Matter, nor should you. Now, if you want to post something every now and again, that's fine. But for the most part, your journey is your journey. You don't want to share that with other people, the details of it. You don't want to share the nuts and bolts of your journey protecting your mental health with the world. And if you are, my question is, who are you really trying to change, you or other people? You know what I mean? But that's today's broadcast. Protecting your mind while the world burns. You are number one. You are not your experiences. You're not involved in the news that you're reading and hearing about. There's a 99.9% chance the shit that you're hearing in the news will never happen to you. So don't internalize it. I'm gonna take this call before I get out of here. Called just in time. Oh, they hung up. Well, they hung up. See, know that you're not your experiences and keep yourself protected mentally by not involving yourself in the bullshit. Know that the bullshit and you are two different things. Know that as long as you're caught in fear, as long as you're caught in anger, you're not going to think straight. You're not. That's why I didn't like say purposely ain't protecting the news. Yeah. That's right, Amar. If you're looking for mental health validation through social media, you setting yourself up a failure. That's why if you notice, like, with a lot of news, certain news, I'll get a lot of inboxes. Why you don't cover this? You don't cover that? And most of the time, I just don't respond because I'm not going to cover every little thing. I will cover major things that happen, but I'm not going to get into everything. We know this world is fucked up. We know it. And there are other black news channels out there that do a much better job than me of covering the current events. Shouts out to Professor Black Truth and Jason Black. Professor Black Truth has these moments of truth every morning. And that's where you go. That's where you go for that. For me, I'm going to touch on the news. I'm going to touch on things, but there'll also be times where I don't touch on anything that's going on in the world. Like even with this broadcast, you see I didn't get into the details of the shootings. I'm using the shootings to talk about how to protect yourself. Because when I turn on Twitter, I appreciate the Cash App, Deanna. Because when I watch the news, I can't be all the way invested in everything going on. That doesn't work for me. I see and I don't see. I know that we have an issue of white supremacy. That as long as we're in the system of white supremacy, you can expect these things to happen. As long as we're in a country where white kids and white people know that they're for the most part immune from law, and there are people of European descent who the totality of their history on this planet has been a history of violence. I can look at the Mongoloids, the Mongols, and see they've had periods in their history without violence. I can look at the Asiatics and see that they've had periods in their history without violence. I can look at the African and see that they've had periods in their history without violence. I can look at the indigenous American and see that they've had periods of time in their history without violence. It's only one group of people I can look at, and that there's no period, not even 10 years, where you can find a history of no violence. And that's the European. And it's not to say all Europeans are bad. There are plenty of great ones that aren't violent. But there are a whole lot that are. So when they act as if they've always been acting since they've been discovered on this planet 6,000 years ago, 8,000 depending on who you listen to, but nobody goes past 8,000. Everyone says the number that they've appeared comes between 6,000 and 8,000 years ago. You can't find a time that they weren't doing this thing to their own mothers, their own sisters, their own cousins. These people have a history of fucking their cousins, then killing them. Why am I going to allow that to get me mad every day? Why do I need to allow that to continue to reinforce the negative world that we live in? Same thing with quote unquote black on black crime. What they like to call it. Our crime. I know that as long as we're under subjugation of a gangster government, gangster activities will ensue. As above, so below. The principle, the law of correspondence. Y'all know me, I take shit back to nature. Going back to the 7 laws of the universe. As above, so below. As within, so without. That happens on every level. It happens with you. What's going on inside is going to dictate how you behave on the outside. How a nation is run from the top is going to guarantee how a nation acts within. You cannot separate yourself from yourself. Let me say that again. You can't separate yourself from yourself. You cannot separate an organism from itself. How an organism behaves internally is going to dictate how it behaves externally. This is a gangster nation. This nation takes things through crime, through killing, through deprivation. So you know what? You can 100,000% expect people within the nation, not everyone, but enough within that same nation, you can totally expect a percentage of people to behave in the same manner. You can expect it. So you cannot allow the events of the day to dictate your emotions, to determine how you feel. You should totally expect black criminality, white criminality, Asian criminality, Latina. You should totally expect it. If they live in the United States, expect that group to have a crime syndicate. Not everybody in that race, but a good amount. You can expect it. As long as the United States is run by white supremacy, you can expect white supremacy to do what it do. So protect your mind knowing that. And when you know that, when you understand that, you can stay logical. And the more of us that can stay logical and fix the problems that we see, the more likely these problems be fixed. But we never gonna fix these problems when we approach them emotionally. When you see yourself in the problem. Separate yourself from the problem. See it for what it is. Fix what you can fix. And whatever you can't fix, leave it alone and enjoy your family. Enjoy your loved ones. Do your hobbies. Smoke some weed. Read a book. Go to the beach. Go to the park. Call your friends and tell them how much you love and appreciate them. Your parents, if they're still here. Spend time every day being in gratitude. You have a lot to be grateful for. If you have the ability to sit on the internet and listen to my voice right now, that means you have an electronic device that's hella expensive. All these phones is expensive as fuck these days. Computer or medium to exchange with the rest of the world. It's something to be grateful for. It's something to be grateful for with your bill being paid on in time for you to even listen to this broadcast. You breathing, you have clothes on. You have people who love you. You have people you love. Think about them. Spend a minute a day. Spend a minute just talking about how much you love what you love. In gratitude. Hug yourself. Remind yourself of all of the greatness within you and around you. That's how you protect your mind. And when you come out of that and you get back to facing this world that we live in, approach it from a logical point of view. You have to always be thinking. You have to always be aware. You have to always be calm and clear. You're not going to be calm and clear if you're caught up in frustration and angst. Like what James Baldwin said, to be black in consciousness is to be mad at America. He said something like that. I know I misquoted him, but you guys get the gist. When you awake and you allow it and you see it, it's enraging. You got to disconnect from that. It's just a problem. The same way you approach math problems in school. You're trying to find the missing angle in a triangle, you know to use a Pythagorean theorem, and you don't sit around with it. It's not really Pythagoras' theorem. Imhotep used that when he designed the original step pyramids in Sudan, but that's a whole nother topic. When you got faced with math problems, you don't sit around and complain about the math problem. Man, this math problem too much, man. Shit. You don't complain about it. You just solve the fucking problem. That's all. Just solve the problem. What's up, Ebony? Yeah, right, Jayla. Your happiness is your responsibility. Solve the problem. Protect yourself and love yourself. Know that you the shit. You are the shit. Period. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Know that internally. And don't be humble about it. Stick your chest out. Stick your motherfucking chest out and know you the shit. All this craziness going on in the world and you still good? This world still ain't broke you? With all this shit we got going on? Constant shootings and bombings and shit and shortages and fake ass viruses and monkeypox and nigga, and you good? Nigga, you the shit. Speaking of shit, before I go, y'all saw that news story talking about the monkeypox was spread by gay and bisexual men, but they trying to cover that shit up now. Nah. Y'all done let the cat out the bag. I believe the first story that came out, they spread that monkeypox through duty. That's a boo-boo disease. So, your lifestyle is your lifestyle. But if you shit dicking and you get these pox, stay the fuck away from the rest of us, man. And don't go around putting that into a real woman that don't know. Like don't go putting your shit dicking diseases in straight women. They don't want that. Keep the monkeypox and your Hershey Highway doo-doo activities on the doo-doo side of the world. If swapping doo-doo is what you do, then keep doing what you do. I don't have a problem with it. I have no issues with you doing whatever you do. I don't dick police. I really don't dick police gay people. Now y'all do what the fuck y'all want to do. I just got an issue when you bring your shit staff over to straight women who don't know you like that. That's when it's a problem. Cause now the straight women gonna be monkeypoxing up straight men. Now they straight activities are getting disrupted because you don't know if you want vagina fluid or shit fluid on your dick. You confused. Do I want to go up the on ramp or the off ramp? I don't know. You dookie diggers, dig all the dookie you want. Just leave the straight women alone. Is that too much to ask? Now, if you find a woman who's into that, then, you know, it is what it is. And she should then be clear when she goes around straight men. Hey, the last guy I fucked, I saw him dig in 2 dookies before he dug in me. Tell that straight man that so he can make a decision on whether or not he wants to risk getting the monkeypox. Because you just allowed in this guy who openly told you he likes dookie on his dingaling. All I'm saying is this: if you a dookie dingaling nigga, be upfront with the ladies. Don't tell the straight ladies that you all the way straight. You not. You go and buy caboose lube by the bottle. If you need caboose lube for your sexual activities, let the ladies know. And let her decide. Let her decide if she wants to slip around and slip and slide on caboose lube and corn feces. Put little chunks of corn up in her. That came out your boyfriend's booty. That's not cool. It's not cool. Whatever you is, going back to protecting your mind, whatever you is, just be that. Just be that. Just be that and be upfront with it. That'll help your mental health. You can't run around the world asking the world to accept you. I know I said I'm signing off and I'm getting ready to sign off to this. You cannot demand the world accepts you. You have to accept yourself first. After you accept yourself. Because remember this, the world agrees to your definition of yourself. For the most part. Wherever you define yourself, the world will agree. So if you go around asking the world for acceptance, you know the world's gonna say, fuck you. And this goes for black people. That's where black people get all fucked up. Black people going around talking about something, we shall overcome, and we gonna come together, and the world's gonna one day accept us. Wait, why? Oh my God, Lord. Why don't the world accept me? You don't accept yourself, nigga, that's why. Black people, accept yourself. You ain't got nothing to apologize for. Dookie diggers, accept your dookie digging activities. You don't have nothing to apologize for unless you lying to straight women. Then now you gotta apologize for that. But if you're on that side of the fence and you stay on that side of the fence, you ain't got shit to apologize for. Nothing. That's what you do. You want the world to accept you, accept yourself. All right, my name is Dwan. The book coming out soon. When I'm totally done with all these rewrites. Hit up and watch Incense and Ashtrays. And remember this. There are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up the game. My name is Dwan. I'm out.